Well, to the top special focus this evening, all the action building up to the Prime Minister's visit in Ayodhya. But what's the political impact the Ram Mandir inauguration and the optics thereof will have on the southern political landscape? That's the question we will discuss this evening with a special panel of experts up ahead on the show this evening. But those pictures on your screen coming to you from Ayodhya, where preparations are on for the Prime Minister's arrival and inauguration of the international airport and the railway station. A roadshow scheduled there tomorrow, all of it building up to the temple inauguration on the 22nd of January. It's not clear if opposition leaders will attend that inauguration. While there has been speculation, there is no clarity on the stand that Sonia Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president, would take on this temple inauguration. However, those optics cannot be ignored by either side of the political divide and will dominate the political discourse in the coming days, especially at the start of the new year. In South India, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah of Karnataka sparked off an exchange with the BJP after a reiteration of his position that he is also a Hindu and goes to Ram temples but is a firm opponent of Hindutva, drawing the distinction there between being a Hindu and a Ram devotee and Hindutva as a political ideology. Let's listen into that exchange before we deep dive into a discussion on the impact all this will have on southern politics.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳೋದು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಹಿಂದುತ್ವ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಏನಾಗಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಹಿಂದುತ್ವ, ಹಿಂದುತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಹಿಂದುತ್ವ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎನ್ ಹಿಂದುತ್ವ ಬೇರೆ, ಹಿಂದೂ ಬೇರೆ. ನಾವು ಶ್ರೀರಾಮನ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ವಾ? ಇವ್ರೊಬ್ರೇನಾ ಮಾಡೋದು? ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಊರುಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ರಾಮ ಮಂದಿರ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ವಾ? ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ವ? ರಾಮನ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ವಾ? ನಾನು ಭಜನೆಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಊರಿನಲ್ಲಿ. ಈ ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ಕೊನೆಯ ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡೋರು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ. ನಾನು ಆ ಭಜನೆಯವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಹೋಯ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಊರಿನಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮೆರವಣಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಧನುರ್ಮಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡೋರು. ಈಗ ಅನೇಕ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಲೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹಿಂದೂಗಳು. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂದೂಗಳಲ್ವೋ?
Congress party has never had any clarity with regard to the issues of Bharat or with regard to Hindutva. Always they are into divisive politics, they are into appeasement politics, they don't respect the law of the land. Why do they get into religion aspect? So they have got no moral right or ethics to talk about Hindutva.
Is that a precursor for the exchange that we are about to see in southern states, or will it not have an impact as far as the politics of South India is concerned? What impact will the Ram Mandir inauguration have on the southern political landscape? That's the question we're asking this evening. And joining me now are political analyst Manisha Priyam, PKD Nambiar, and senior journalist and academic from Chennai, RK Radhakrishnan. My first question to you, Manisha Priyam, before that, a very happy birthday and thanks for making an exception and joining the show. We hope you'll have a very nice birthday evening after this. But Manisha, as far as the optics that we are getting out of Ayodhya is concerned, as far as South India is concerned, do you believe it will have an impact on the political discourse? Do you believe that the opposition will be dragged into an exchange even here about reiterating the Hindu identity and trying to consolidate that vote?
So there are two parts to my answer. When we say southern, we mean the states to the south of the Vindhyas. Now we know that notwithstanding the fervor and euphoria to the north of the Vindhyas in the heartland, so to say, the southern states have stood their own. They've stood ground on their political moorings, and I think that's the vividity of India. And I do think that there are very strong Hindu moorings, the temple culture to the south of the Vindhyas, but each of these is distinct to each particular state. As much as there is Hinduism, as much as there is the temple culture and the mathas, there's also a very distinct political culture in each of these states. And I do believe that while the Ram Mandir inauguration will be watched by all of these southern states. I don't think they're going to sway the political culture or the political decision making. Where it's going to make a difference, though, is in the large diaspora that's known as a southern diaspora that lives abroad. For them, the Ram Mandir is going to be a matter of pride, but we know they don't move the votes. So there is going to be a difference as far as the north and the south of the Vindhya is concerned. The south is going to look at it with reverence and with awe, but I don't think political decision making is going to be tethered by what we see as the fortunes of religion, and especially the religion of Lord Ram. And it is surprising to me because the Lord Ram story actually ends at the southern tip and across of South India in what is Sri Lanka, and still politics doesn't move on in the name of Lord Sri Ram, although it had mythologically or historically, it had, but electoral politics doesn't seem to move that way.
It's an interesting point that you make, especially the one you make about the impact it has on the southern diaspora. And of course, and when we speak of South India, we need to see each state distinctively. The impact that it has on a Karnataka, where the BJP has a solid presence on the ground, is very different from the impact it would have on a state like Tamil Nadu, right? R.K. Radhakrishnan, do you see this, given that historically you've not had great impact of the BJP in a state like Tamil Nadu? Do you believe that in the era of social media, the imagery and the optics around the Ram Temple inauguration could affect, at least at a subtext level, the political discourse in Tamil Nadu?
Not at all. If you're going to tell the people of Tamil Nadu or the people of Kerala that Hindu khatre mein hai, they will say, what are you trying to tell us? We are 80% of the population in India. And of course, in Kerala, they are not that much. They are just over 50% of the population right now. So in Kerala, the BJP tried desperately to bring about, a controversy regarding the Sabrimala, women entry into Sabrimala, Ramni, the MLA constituency where the BJP had the greatest hope and spent a lot of money, but then came a cropper. In Tamil Nadu, you see L. Murugan, when he was the BJP state president here, tried the Vel Yatra, which came a cropper. And even recently, the finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman's statement inside a temple, asking people not to contribute to the temple hundis and instead give it to other places. Now, even that comment has not gone down well with the people who visit temples. So that is the kind of situation we have in Tamil Nadu. I mean, any communal color that is given to a religious event or to the fact that somebody goes to a temple and prays will not go down well here in Tamil Nadu or in Kerala. Even in Karnataka, during the elections, we have seen that the consistent calls on trying to invoke Hanuman or any other god have not worked in Karnataka. Just as in Andhra, in fact, last year in Kurnool, there was a disturbance, communal disturbance, but barring that, none of these places, entire South India, we have not had communal disturbances. You might remember in Hyderabad, there was a consistent effort to bring in the Rohingya issue as the biggest issue in the municipal elections in Hyderabad. Even that did not work well beyond a point. In fact, BJP did gain out of that. But at the end of the day, MIM and TDP formed the alliance and now rule the municipal council.
Right. Right. Interesting point that you make there. PKD Nambiar, as far as the BJP's political calculus is concerned, one talks about the Prime Minister starting the new year with the campaigns and rallies in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Lakshadweep. There has been a focus about trying to build the party in the south. Does it see this issue as something that is going to transcend? Or do you believe that this is something that's still going to be relegated to the Hindi heartland? There needs to be a very different narrative for the southern states. Nambiar, you need to unmute yourself, brother.
I said, Viragav, kan kan mein baste hai Ram, har dil mein baste hai Ram. I remember that 16 and a half years old boy. I went all the way in 1992 to Ayodhya from Kerala all the way, taking 4 trains. The impact of Ram in every Indian or every Hindu, for that matter, not only just a Hindu, even in everybody is embedded. It's more of like the mantra as the way when you take birth, it comes within you. Now, you are talking about how will you have this political impact in south of India? क्या साउथ में जो रहने वाला हिंदुस्तान का बाकी लोगों से कुछ अलग है क्या? Have they been imported from somewhere from the West Asia? No. But it may not have. Why do we need to look at in the Sri Ram as in the prism of only the political way? I think it requires to look at from the spiritual way. It should be looked at in the cultural way. It should be looked at in the overall uniting factor for this country. Remember that Mahatma Gandhi, when he was dying, he said his shabd was "Hey Ram." You remember that the Mahatma Gandhi was talking about the Ram Rajya. So I think the impact of Ram is going to be there everywhere, irrespective of south, north, east, west, or any other part, everywhere. Not only just here, as the madam was talking about, it is also has got a global impact. I also feel that, for an example, my home state, Kerala, 1 month is where we do a Ramayan part. Every 1 month is dedicated for the Sri Ram, and every household in Kerala do read Ramayan during that time. And you are saying there won't be
the narrative is different. Whether it will turn into a political narrative is the question, Nambiar. Whether it will turn into a political narrative, will it be a matter of discussion, or will it not remain a matter of discussion is the question. And I want very quick comments, starting with Manisha, just 20 seconds each in terms of it. You've made your point very clear, but in terms of having an impact or deciding that political narrative, do you think it will have any kind of impact even in a state like Karnataka?
Karnataka, it may have some impact, largely because of the fact that there is a very strong BJP cadre, remember? And, there are parts of Karnataka that have seen, their temples having been destroyed by Islamic invaders. And I think that's where the balance tilts. In the south, there is a far deeper, any part of Tamil Nadu or Kerala, the presence of the Hindu scriptures or Hindu thought is there deeply embedded and in a philosophical way. But it's also a very rational tradition, right? In Karnataka, you see some swing here and there, and one can say, therefore, that there may be some amount of possibility that the cadres will use it to mobilize their population. Yeah.
Right. The cadres will use it to mobilize their opposition. My last question to you, Radhakrishnan, before I get to PKD Nambiar for final 20-second comments. The stand that the opposition India alliance takes on whether to attend the meeting or not, would that determine whether this discourse goes further, or do you believe that that's inconsequential in a state like Tamil Nadu?
No, it will be politically very bad if India Alliance, members of the India Alliance go and attend the ceremony itself, because you have been talking about a version of political Hinduism, which is termed Hindutva, and which is what the BJP is exploiting. So if the India Alliance members go there, then it becomes a part of the BJP's larger narrative as to these people are also talking what is called soft Hindutva. We are the better version of it, go for us. But when the Prime Minister comes to Tamil Nadu and Kerala starting soon, he would rather be interested in talking about development. We will see that in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. I'm very certain that he'll talk about the money that he'll be giving to southern districts of Tamil Nadu. When it goes to Kerala, again, there needs to be a budgetary support. There are problems in Kerala when it comes to the finances. He will be talking about that, and he'll be talking not much about the religion at all, and not much about the Ram Mandir inauguration.
Okay, my final quick question to you, PKD Nambiar. How the opposition reacts to it would determine, more importantly, how this narrative is set, not just in the south, but even in the north. Quickly.
Well, everybody, I would rather say that all the India Alliance leaders should participate in this mega program, and this has been waited 400, 500 years later. We are getting Bhavya Ram Mandir again back at the same place. Whether it will have a political impact in terms of electoral success for the BJP, it doesn't matter. I think that will definitely have, because a government which stood by the BJP has been talking about this from the last so many years, and they have been able to finally build a Bhavya Ram Mandir. And if you say that these will not have some kind of a political effect, it may not be like what happens in Madhya Pradesh or in UP. That kind of an effect may not be there, but I am sure that there will be a socio-cultural and political effect of Ram all across the country. You can see it in Tamil Nadu, whether it is or in Karnataka or in Kerala. all these places. Remember Vishwarupam. Remember the NTR movie of Vishwarupam. That is the one which made him a chief minister. Look at everywhere in the southern states except Kerala. All the big personalities have come from through the cinemas.
Okay,
have come through the.
Point taken. I will have to leave that conversation there. Obviously, 2024 will be a test of how everything plays out, and in the coming days, we'll closely observe how the political discourse plays out. Happy birthday again, Manisha Priyam. Thanks so much for joining us, R.K. Radhakrishnan and PKD Nambiar. We'll take a very short break, much more when we come back on the show. Welcome back now to another controversy from a Karnataka government school. Pictures of a lady teacher of a government school in romantic poses with a young minor male student have gone viral. After a complaint by the boy's parents, the teacher has been suspended. Pratibha Raman reports on a case that raises some very important concerns, which we'll discuss with a special panel in a bit.
At a time when treatment meted out to school students has hit the spotlight in Karnataka, pictures of a woman head teacher in a government school kissing and posing romantically with a teenage minor male student of the school had set off a new controversy. Head teacher of Murugamala Village Government High School in Chikbalapur has been suspended after the boy's parents complained.
ಒಂದು ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಶಾಲೆಯ ಒಂದು ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ವಾತಾವರಣದ ಮೇಲೆ ವ್ಯತಿರಿಕ್ತ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಬೀರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರವರನ್ನ ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಕೋರಿದ್ರು SDMC ಅವರು. ಮುಖ್ಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕಿ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ತಾಯಿ ಮಗನ ಸಂಬಂಧದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗೆ ಕಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅವರ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯವನ್ನು ಲಿಖಿತವಾಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
While male teachers luring or misbehaving with school students has been a major concern, the acts of a woman teacher with an underage male child highlights the fact that there needs to be focus on protecting boys as well. With bureau inputs from Chikbalapur, Pratibha Raman for NDTV.
So that's an important question. Joining me this evening, Ramesh Hariharan, principal of the Inventure Academy, a well-known school in Bengaluru, and also well-known psychiatrist, Dr. Praveen Chintapanti, who's joining me from New Delhi. Ramesh, my first question to you is, and I'm not making a value judgment here, is do we often, as a stereotype and conditioning, not take the case of an improper touch or a sexual abuse of teenage boys in cases they are victims as seriously as we take it when it's a girl? I'm not drawing a value judgment on this, as I mentioned, but a minor is a minor, whether it's a girl or a boy.
Absolutely, you raise an important point. I think the issue is that there is a social stigma attached to males admitting that they have been victimized in one way or the other, because males are, usually seen as more quote-unquote powerful and the stronger gender, mistakenly perhaps, but that's the way it is. And for them to admit that they have been victims is something which is not encouraged at all. And males are not given the forum to really express themselves in that way if they have been victimized. But
Dr. Praveen, is that a common thing that you find? Ramesh, go ahead, Ramesh.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell you that the main thing is to raise awareness and to make both girls and boys in school feel completely free to talk about what they've experienced, and at Inventure Academy, particularly, we're very proactive about raising this awareness and including all our stakeholders, whether it's students, parents, teachers, everyone. And we have regular...
Dr. Praveen, if you can hear me, is this a common problem that you find across the board? I mean, that we don't take very seriously when it comes to cases of sexual abuse of boys, especially in cases like that. It's often, not taken as seriously when it comes to, as we take it when it comes to protection of girls.
It's a common assumption that, the perpetrator is a male adult and the victim is a female child. That's been the common assumption. But in my practice, I do see that the incidence is more or less equal. It's not uncommon that you find a young male being abused by a much older female perpetrator, And this assumption that it's one-sided, I think that's very wrong, as Ramesh has been mentioning. It is as common as it happens on the other side as well. And this, myth of, the conversation was saying the Thai-Maga relationship, the mother and child relationship. I think it's so farcical. It's the grooming language, isn't it?
Right. I think you're making a very important point, both of you. I'm sorry, I'm afraid that we're completely out of time on this. I wish we had more time to discuss this issue, but there needs to be a break of stereotype. That's what the two of you are making in terms of what we understand as sexual abuse. Whether it's a boy or a girl, a minor is a minor, a child is a child. That's all we have time for on the Southern View. Of Happy New Year to all of you. We'll meet you in the new year with our next episode of Southern View on Monday. Thanks for watching.